Hi, I'm Erica Lutz with Education USA, and I'm here today with Sjostrom from Undergraduate Admissions at Duke University. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We're going to talk a little bit about what it's like for an international student to apply to Duke and other selective universities. Can you tell us what it's like in America? I know that in Belgium, for instance, a student will be interested in law, do undergraduate in law, a master's in law, become a lawyer, and then die a lawyer. I know that in America, of course, there's a flexibility that isn't here in Europe. Could you tell us a little bit about what it would be like?
Of course. Yeah, it's really, really different in the U.S. Applying to liberal arts colleges or universities, of course, lots of people who apply to us don't even have any idea of what they want to major in, and that's fine. Those who do come in, and some of them stick with their original idea, and some of them completely change their minds. But I think what's even more notable maybe is that once students end up at our schools, specifically at Duke, but at other schools too, they'll discover interests they didn't even know they had. And what we find at Duke is that, in fact, 80% of our undergraduates have more than one major. And sometimes they're completely unrelated. So it may be that a student has a double major in biology and dance and a minor in Slavic studies. Who knows? That combination is not as crazy as it sounds. At Duke, in fact, that's pretty normal.
So it's okay not to know what your major is before you apply. So a 17-year-old doesn't have to know they're going to be a mechanical engineer when they're applying to Duke.
That's exactly right. And in fact, what a student ends up majoring in may not actually dictate the outcome in terms of even the very first job, not to mention a career. What we find at Duke also is that, this is based on very small numbers, but among the students who are going on to medical school, in many years, those students who are most successful in their applications actually haven't had a major in anything to do with pre-medical preparation, not biology, not chemistry, but in fact, classics or music. And as long as they're taking the required courses that will give them the foundation, that will give them the preparation they need to start medical school, so a good background in the sciences, but a major in something completely unrelated, no problem.
My first job was on Wall Street, and only 50% of our incoming class came from the banking/business industry. So
Precisely.
Looks right.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about research? I know that that's a concern for a lot of students, is that at a large institution like yourself, a good name, that research isn't done at the bachelor's level. But I think at Duke it's a little bit different. Could you talk to us about what that experience is like?
Sure. So to begin, maybe it's helpful to know just sort of the scope of research that's going on at universities in the United States. And I looked recently at the numbers that were released by the National Science Foundation. The most recent ones were released in April of 2012, and they reflect the fiscal year 2010. And during that year, Duke received $983 million of funding for research. Now, not all of those dollars went to undergraduates, it's true, but Duke is in fact a very undergraduate-focused university. And research, there's an entire office dedicated to undergraduate research support. And I think this isn't exactly what you asked, but maybe important to know also that research is available across all fields. This isn't just research in engineering or research in life sciences, but research in social sciences, as you might also guess, research in humanities, research in fine arts, anything that students might have an interest in, that Office of Undergraduate Research Support, and we're not alone in having one of those. You will find the help to identify questions, to identify projects, and then the support that you need financially and through faculty in order to actually make those a reality.
Wow, research in fine arts.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, last question, totally different topic from fine arts is sports, athletics.
Yes.
A hot topic and something that I think a lot of students wrestle with is to know the balance between, let's say, their athletic career and also their academic career.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to us a little about this intersection?
Sure. Well, it's a really challenging one in that it's true that students at Duke in particular and at other Division I athletic schools, it's almost like having a full-time job to be a part of an athletic program. And at the same time, you're completing an entire undergraduate career in the same way that every other student is. There's no separate program. But what we see is that a lot of students coming to us who have been high-level athletes have already developed a really strong sense of time management and managed to juggle these two extremely demanding commitments at once. We've been really proud in looking at the student athletes at Duke to discover that quite a number of the athletic programs boast a GPA even higher than the overall average GPA for the class. And so I think people are successful in managing this balance, but it's a major commitment. What I would suggest very strongly for students who are thinking about a Division I athletic program is look online, get the coach's contact information, contact them now. It's almost never too early, and there are rules about how coaches can respond, how much, how often, when, but it's really a good idea to get your name out there sooner rather than later, so that the coaches will know about your interest and be able to give you an idea of how you might fit into and how you might contribute to the program at our schools.
Fantastic. So undecided majors, research at the undergraduate level, and sports. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for staying with Education USA.
Thank you.